Hello and welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast. My name is Kaya Moran. I am your host. The Hear Me Out podcast is a podcast where we talk about a lot of things pertaining to our relationships, building better relationships, recovering from traumatic relationships, talking about purpose, talking about destiny, talking about a lot of mental health and healing and discovering ourselves and identity, and all wrapped and founded on our faith in Christ. And we talk about these things because they're so pertinent to our growth and to our being as humans and how we engage and relate with one another and most importantly ourselves. And today's episode, I have another amazing guest. She is many things. I'm going to let her introduce herself as well, but just to give you guys a little bit of a background there on Miss Nifemi. So Style by Nif, I know a lot of you have heard that. Calm down, calm down. Don't get too excited. Style by Nif Inc. is led by the visionary Nifemi Ashani. I love her name also. It's so pretty. She is a trailblazing fashion stylist brand that redefines the industry landscape, operating under the alias Styles by Nif. Nifemi Ashani's work is a testament to her unwavering commitment to creative excellence, brand storytelling, and fostering cultural diversity with a focus on editorial, ad campaigns, and content styling. Style by Nif strives to ignite innovation and reshape the narratives within the fashion realm. Nifemi's journey has led to the showcase of her styling works in prestigious publications such as Glamour magazine South Africa, Elle Cote d'Ivoire. Furthermore, her creative expressions have adorned Canadian art galleries like Contemporary Calgary and Casa, Lethbridge, as well as the Afro Scot Gallery in Glasgow, Scotland. Amazing. She also stands as a creator and host of Sunday Refocus, so she's a podcaster as well, guys. And that is a podcast designed to empower emerging creatives within the fashion industry. Through insightful conversations, Nifemi and her guests share valuable knowledge, skills, and resources, offering informal yet invaluable insights drawn from a diverse range of industry leaders and creators. So help me welcome Nifemi.
Hey guys.
I'm so sorry for making you sit up through all of that. I know it's so uncomfortable when people are like reading your bios. You're just like, let me keep a straight face. Let me be professional.
It's humble time.
It's humble time. But it's so necessary to like remind yourself of all your accolades and all that you're achieving, because you are doing great things. At such a young and such a youthful age, you are really going for so many things. So Amen. I really love that. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love for you to like speak more about just a little bit about yourself, tell people kind of like what you're about, or how you introduce yourself as Nifemi.
So me, who am I?
You never know how to start that question.
She said it all, but things that you probably don't know. So I'm a fashion stylist and also a researcher as well. I recently just graduated from university this June, so that has been exciting. Like, I really thank God for that journey. We would definitely talk more about it, but it has been like a roller coaster. Yeah. But I started Style by Nif in like after high school. Actually, like I just was like, there's this like passion to just be dressing up and wanting to experiment with clothing. And she be dressing. Want to experiment with clothing. And then I started a blog at first, and that went on until I started uni. So once I started uni, I started styling my friends and trying to tap into opportunities here and there. And, while in school, lots of things were happening. And just once COVID happened and whatnot, like that's when it really hit to really understand like what is this like gift of mine, right? So but I thank God. I really thank God for what He's been doing through me through Style by Nif, and it's definitely a vision much bigger than myself. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we can start. We'll obviously get through all of your, let me not say all of your story, but we'll get through, hopefully quite a bit of your story to share with the people, and so they can learn from your experiences and from your journey. But you said that you started Style by Nif just after high school, which is pretty insane. Yeah. To, start such a big thing.
It wasn't even called Style by Nif at that time.
Oh, what was it called?
I think it was just called like Nif's like fashion journal or something like it was like a blog.
Okay. I mean, we all got to start with something.
Yeah. At the time, like my brother was my photographer because I had like a camera, and I was just like posting like short blogs about how to style for like an event or how to color coordinate or what to wear to creative events and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really fun. Initially, because I actually wanted to go to like fashion school. Yeah. But my parents were like, no. Yeah. My grandparents were like, it's not happening. But I also had a passion for sports too. I was very, very like big in sports in like high school. And I was like, okay, like for the longest time, I even think throughout my high school years, I thought for sure that like I wanted to be a physiotherapist. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I got into University of Lethbridge for kinesiology program. Yeah. And then, things switched. Once like I got into second year, I was like, is this really for me? Like I was doing things like opposite from like my degree. Like even though during the summertime I would get really great like jobs in like different cities actually. I would be working in Calgary, working in Edmonton, doing like sport coordinating like jobs. But I also had like this deep sense of like, fashion is also another side for me, right?
I thought you were gonna say the brats.
Yeah, no. Fashion, sorry, my words, guys. Yeah, and then 2019, I believe, I went to Toronto for a couple weeks. Like during that time, actually, I was dealing with a lot of like mental like health and stuff like that in school. I think during that time, I was like really school wasn't going well. Like I was struggling with school. And like I really wasn't retaining the knowledge. Yeah. I was just like it just wasn't happening for me. Like I was trying so hard.
And as you're paying, you're seeing the money leaving your account and you're really wondering.
You're really wondering like I'm not stupid.
It's not me. Like
it cannot be me. Like I was like, God, what is going on? Yeah. What is really going on? Like, but the things like throughout my life, like I've actually kind of like my enemy actually kind of struggled with school throughout my life actually. But there's been stages.
And when she says, let me just explain for the people. When she says my enemy, she does not want to declare something negative upon herself. So we put it on the enemy.
The enemy, exactly. Yeah, you gotta let them know that. But yeah, like I kind of had like my enemy kind of had like that struggle over the years. Like from a young age, I always had to like work way harder than most kids in school. And then like once I got into university, I was like, oh, I'm in university. Like it should be different. Like I got this, but it was like. It was hard, bro. It was really, really hard. But then, I went to Toronto for a couple of weeks, and I just I actually made a friend with somebody on Visco, right? So she was my pen pal, and I was like, oh, let me just go to Toronto and just go visit her, right? So I went and go visit her, and we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this project. Let's do this project, like just creative shoots. Yeah, bro, I didn't even know how it happened, but in the span of like a week, I did like 3-5 projects, like 3 to 5 projects, and I was like, where?
It's like divine speed just kicked in.
It just kicked. I was like, where did this come from? Like the ideas. Even people were like, people didn't even know. They're like, oh yeah, like we have this going on. Like come through. It's just pop up event. Come through. And I was like, okay, let me go. And in that time, I was still kind of like in the world, right? So just like I was just experimenting. So I went to a couple of events and stuff like that, and just like, for me, there's this like desire in me to understand like people's like career journey and how they got to where they were. Yeah. So like people I would meet on day-to-day basis, I was like, oh, okay, so you're in fashion, like what did you take in school? What are you currently taking in school? Like how did you get here? The majority of them are like, oh, fashion marketing or fashion design, blah, blah, blah. So I went back home. I was like, Lord, am I in the right program? Yeah. Am I in the right program? Yeah. Because no, it can't be this.
It shouldn't be this hard.
It shouldn't be this hard. And like, even though I love kinesiology, it was getting to a point where it's like I couldn't really envision
your future.
The future, like in that. And then I just took a leap of faith and just switched programs. Yeah. I was like, I told my parents.
Before or after you switched?
I think I told them before because I'm very close to my parents actually. Okay. So I told them before, I was like, you know what, I really want to get into fashion, but I feel like, at least I'm doing general. So I told them I want to do general marketing. Okay. So I went through the process, going to advisor, trying to figure out what programs, the transfer, how long it would take. And my parents were not too happy because like, oh, you're going to be in university for longer, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, you know what? If I graduate with this kinesiology degree, I will not be happy, right? So once I switched, I was literally the best decision. And yeah, like if the program itself wasn't like easy, but I felt like, you know, more driven in it, right? More driven in it and more passionate, and learned a lot about, you know, how I can apply marketing to fashion. Because the other thing I realized in the industry, just even in the creative economy, a lot of people, you know, they take on this badge in their bag, like starving artists. I'm just like, that statement.
Breathe.
I was like, that statement. I was like, not me and you. Starving who?
Yeah.
Who's starving?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be starving.
Amen.
So I was like, let me learn the business, you know, even though it's not like the business of fashion, but let me learn, you know, general marketing, learn general business, finance. That way I can now apply it into, like, you know, my artistry.
Yeah.
So I was like, never, it's not happening for me. But yeah, that's kind of has been my journey transitioning into like fashion, especially in like the career aspect of it and whatnot. Yeah.
No, I love that. And like a few things that you said that I want to kind of touch on is just even starting with kind of the year that you even experienced this shift, you know, 2019 was also my year of let's pack it up. Yeah. And it's so funny because when you're in school, it's just like I performed well in school before, right? But that was the time where it was, I feel like, you know, the Holy Spirit was really trying to speak to me. And probably, you know, that was probably your case the same way, where like things were not working. And although you could have pushed through and just made it happen because, you know, this is what you just do in life. You just go to school, you get your regular degree, and you carry on as you're told to do. Right? But with that resistance that you were experiencing, like it's amazing to see how you know, were able to actually overcome that, because it's not easy. It's not easy, like taking that leap of faith, especially doing something like, you know, fashion and creative arts. From what I've understood, these are things that are, you know, big risk, big reward. Yes. But if you don't take the risk, like, you're not getting the reward. So to even now switch programs, even just to go to Toronto and say, let me, you know, see what this thing is about. Let me invest in myself in this way. Like, that was a big risk that you took, where you could have been focusing on other stuff. You know, where you could have been putting your head down and trying to get other work done. So like, these are not things that you know, come easy. Like, as we sit here, like, we can tell the story now. You know, like,
but at
the time, it was every little decision, every second was Lord, my life, what am I doing?
I also want to mention, like, during that time, I had started a collective. I co-started a collective, and we were supposed to have in my university. So I started co-started an arts collective. Like, there was like 5 of us, right? And like, we were getting a lot of wave, like different associations in the group, like, oh, we want to sponsor you guys, want to partner with you guys, blah 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 blah. And that year we were supposed to actually have an arts performance and exhibition, but because of COVID it didn't happen. But I thank God it didn't happen, because the Lord was really convicting my heart a lot towards the vision that we had developed. Because when I had proposed the idea to the group of friends, right, I was like, yeah, like, I really want us to, you know, have more diversity and representation, and really showcase the different artistic groups and individuals within, like, you know, campus and off campus. Because like, there was I noticed that there was a lot of artistic people, and 2018 2019 was a year where like people were really like taking risk artistically in my university, and I was just like, okay, there's something in the water. There's something going on. Let's create spaces for this, right? And like, spaces that also represented like Black people, because now there's a lot more Black people coming to the University of Lethbridge, like a lot of international students. And you know, for me, I'm a very outgoing person, so I'll be meeting people. They'll tell me, oh yeah, I sing, I do poetry, I was like, you don't even look like somebody who would do this everything. So I was like, I'm walking on campus and I could be walking and wouldn't even know that this person is like a painter or something like that. And I was like, I really wanted to give spaces to those type of people.
And bring them
myself,
into the
right?
space. Yeah.
And so I had my friends at the time who were actually no longer my friends, just crazy. But we met up together. We're like, okay, let's put our heads together.
Yeah.
Let's really try to do something serious, right? So we're doing it, and you know, being the lead in the group, I was really trying to make sure that, you know, the logistics were there more and getting like the partnerships and whatnot. But I started to it was getting to a point where it was the vision was getting really worldly in the sense where now we're talking about like, you know, sexuality and like, okay, look, what does sexuality mean to me? Like, what does it mean to you? And kind of stuff like, what are we like representing? Who are we sharing our platform with, right? And for a normal person, like, they wouldn't really like think about it, or like, you know, it wouldn't bother them, you know, but for some reason it was just bothering me. I was just like, why is this bothering me like this? Like, Lord, what?
This was not the intended vision.
It's not like, it was starting to become like, okay, this like it started to feel like now that I was gonna give a platform to people that the Lord definitely doesn't want me to give a platform to, right? So I was just like, okay. And the friendship between them started to get a little bit, one of them started to get a really bit like rocky, and that was actually one of the reasons why I had to leave, because I couldn't breathe in my university space, because like, okay, because I was quite popular in the uni because I stand out like a
okay.
I just every time I just stand out,
knew,
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I just need to breathe. Like, I couldn't breathe anymore. Like, people, I was calling my friends, like, we're low-key ignoring each other, and we have like this project. We kind of like the showcase is in like a month or two. I was like, yeah, let me get space. Let me take space. And when I came back, actually, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch my program. But the Lord was like, you need to exit from this. Like, even though you know started this, you need to take yourself out of it. And that to me was like, whoa. Yeah. But Lord, like, I started this.
Yeah,
this was like this was in a way I thought it was like my baby was mine. Like, it was mine. Like, you know, I was like,
to give it up.
I was like, he's like, okay, they can be the group together and continue what they want to do, but you need to take yourself out of it. Yeah. And that was like difficult, because like I was battling with it for like months. Like, then COVID hit, so now everybody was like, you know, at their homes and stuff like that. So and then that's when like I was spending a lot more time with the Lord, and the Lord was like always, like, even though he was revealing things to me, he kept on saying like, you haven't exited, like you need to exit for me to show you more, for me to do more. You need to leave this group. So then I think it was either May or June, I had sent like because we were supposed to plan for the following semester to like do something. And then I sent them in a group message to everybody. I was like, you know, I know, I really appreciate everybody, and I know that we all have just like all these things. I'm like, okay, let me start off a good note, but this no longer aligns with my vision. This no longer aligns with where I'm meant to be.
That's hard.
That was very difficult.
Yeah.
And it kind of left like some bad taste in some of them. Yeah. But, you know, some of them I still kept on being friends with some of them, but eventually the Lord was like, you need to actually just like cut off ties. And cutting off ties took more longer, because even though we were not working together, I would still like hang out with them here and there. The ones that I was still like, okay, like we're still chill. But yeah, I had to kind of like, the Lord was like, yeah, you need to let go.
You know, that sounds like defending your vision, right? Because I feel like people don't realize until, you know, especially if you're not an entrepreneur, you haven't created something. Yeah. If you haven't created something that is yours per se, it's the Lord's, but yours, you know, You don't understand how you need to protect that thing. The same way it's like if you have a child, you are the one who's responsible for the upbringing, for what that child is taught, for how that child interacts in the world until a certain level. You are the one that's responsible. Same way with your art. Yeah. Right? And so like the way, same with your vision, like your vision is yours, your responsibility to protect it from other people that would try to inject certain things in it that's not what God has said. That's not where you're going. Yeah. And it's so hard because it's just like
took me months, bro.
Yeah, it's so hard because it's like you know started it with you were sitting down brainstorming with all these people, you know, and then it's just like, oh, I feel like this is also connected to these people, or these people have added in this way. Yeah. Or like, what am I going to do, you know, without this? Or like, what is it? Like, there's just so many questions. Yeah. And I found it so hard to defend your vision, especially if you have a tendency to like people please, or you want to be liked, or you so want people to, admire or, you know, run with your vision that they maybe have not been called to. Yeah. Yeah. And it's very difficult. Like you have to really sit down and say, okay, what is my why? What am I doing? Why am I doing it for? Who am I doing it for? And if these people, you know, don't fit in those answers that you're getting, then they have to go. Their opinions have to go. You know, whatever they want to add to it has to go. You have to stick to that, the purity of that vision. Yeah. Or else you've, you know, kind of lost it there.
That's definitely facts, because I feel like, you know, especially going back to the people pleasing statement that you made, like if you want to run with the vision that the Lord has given you, like you have to die to those like validations and like needing to be accepted or needing to validate your ideas with other people. Because there's times where I've done that, where it's like, oh, okay, the Lord has given me this idea. Let me ask my public domain. Oh, what do you guys
think about this?
Yeah. And I'm just like, and I was looking at you like, who sent you?
Who sent you?
And now you don't even end up doing it.
Yeah, no, honestly, because there's like, you know, something that is said often is like there's people that will love you out of your vision. Yes. Because they love you so much, you know, like if I couldn't tell my parents, I know you had a great relationship with your parents. I could not tell my parents before I switched programs. Yeah. If I told my sisters, which they'll watch this, they would have told me no. Still till this moment, I have like uncles and aunties that still tell people that I'm becoming a doctor. Like I'm gonna become, you know, I'm gonna get my PhD, but I'm not gonna become a medical doctor because they're so attached to that vision. But that's not my vision. That's not what the Lord said to me. You know, if I'd sold certain people that I was starting a podcast, they would have been like, what are you doing? What do you have to say? You know, why are you doing that? If you told people that you were investing so much in bringing up Style by Nif and, you know, putting into this vision and what you're doing, they would have said, no, Nifemi, like, go do something else.
And the truth is, like, even same with, like, with my own, like, family as well. Like, I feel like also being the oldest daughter, you have, like, this, like, needing to, like, I feel like most older, like, children, they have, like, this, like, this thing where they need to please the family, need to please others. So it's like, even me, it's something that I've had to work with and even still working with, right? Yeah. But the other thing about me is that, you know, I'm very, very, what's the way to put it? Like, when I'm sure of something, I'm like sure of it. Like, regardless of if you tell me, oh, you think this is not the right thing for me. You have a strong will. Yeah. Like I'll listen to you and be like, oh yeah, okay. And I will start to like really visualize like, okay, like, is this like, because I think some people can prophesy and tell you things and stuff like that, but not all prophecy is the prophecy that the Lord, you need to take it back to God and like, Lord, like, is this? And that's one thing I've learned from a young age is like being able to like really confirm things through God. And because like for me, like regardless of if somebody's telling, because even when I told my parents, okay, I'm switching, like I was like, yeah, I know you guys are not too happy with this, but like for me, I just know that if I graduate with this other degree, I won't be happy. I won't be happy.
Yeah, and you have to go with that.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I want you to talk more about your why, because, you know, that is such a huge thing. And I feel like people often confuse this when we're speaking about vision and purpose, you know. And I feel like, especially in this time, I want us to really clarify and help people understand, like, when we talk about vision, obviously we're talking about the picture of the future, right? So vision is, styled by Nif, is a vision of like what and how you are doing something. However, like I spoke to you before, you explained your why. And when you were talking, you actually mentioned very little about fashion in and of itself, right? You talked about so many other things, and I realized that was your why. That's what's pushing you in your driving force. Style by Nif just happens to be one of the vehicles through which you're able to achieve that. Can you speak more towards that?
For my why, like, it's a bit peculiar, but it's just like something I've been able to just understand in the realm of the Holy Spirit, and also through like teachings at that Cornerstone Christian Church of God. You know, I forgot where in the Bible it mentions it, but it talks about, you know, we're all called, but like not everyone is like chosen.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Right? And I'll go back to I'll tell you this through like a little story. So during COVID, so at the height of COVID, this is when I was like in Lethbridge. I was by myself in the home. Like nobody was with me. It was just me for like the whole like 2-3 months. Like I was by myself, bro. It was difficult.
Isolated.
So it was me, my brain, and all this. I was like, yo. So every day I would be crying. Most days I would be praying. I'd be like, Lord, why am I here?
I need connection, Lord.
What is my life purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? So I'll just be praying. That's when like I'm doing that season. Dr. David Jeremiah, is that the David Jeremiah? That's a pastor, a minister. I believe based in the US, but I was Turning Points. That's the name of his administration. This was even before like I started coming to CCCG, right? So during that time, like I think I had subscribed to Turning Points daily newsletter on my my university account, right? I was like, let me, like, during that time I was also doing like online church too, like finding a church in Lethbridge was like, it was kind of difficult for me, because I wasn't really connected. So at the time I was like attending like Pastor Michael Todd, like online, you know, but you know, like no accountability really. But then during that time, I was now like diving deeper into Turning Point and listening to their message, and something just switched. Like I don't know, like my eyes just began to just open. The Lord was just opening my eyes, and I would be having dreams and revelation, and the Lord would just be revealing to me day by day, like my industry, like the fashion industry. He would be showing me like the depths of it, like things that are going on. He was even revealing to me, like, you know, the way this is beside, like, just like how sexual immorality is like taken captive of like people, and but like mainly like my industry was revealing it to me, and I was getting scared. I was getting scared. I was like, that's a big burden. I was getting scared. I was like, Lord,
is it me?
Like he was just not even just like me, but just like showing me like, okay, this is what. This is the backside of the industry.
Oh, it was a new perspective.
Yeah, like showing me, okay, this is what is really going on there. This is what you're walking into. It's Hades right now, you know. Yeah. And I want you to go in there and be a light. I want you to shine light in Hades. I know it's gated. There's a lot of, you know, the industry is very, very gated, because for you to be able to get in, you need to, it's literally built off your connections, who you know. That's like, I would tell you that if you don't know anybody, good luck. Good luck trying to make it in the industry. Good luck. So the Lord was like just showing me, was like, so you have to be very careful of like sexual morality in this industry. He started to show me like all these like demonic symbolicism that is going on in this industry, and I was just like, So I'll be going on Instagram and I'm just like seeing is like, okay, yeah, you see this is it. This is what I'm trying to, and I'm like, whoa, this is too much.
Yeah.
Like I had to like I got off like Instagram because like this is too much.
Mm-hmm.
So how I was able to get through that, was just like I'd go for walks and stuff like that, and I'll just be asking a lot of questions like like this is what if this is what the industry is like, it's overtly saturated with just crazy things. Like I don't want any part of it. I told you I don't want any part of it.
Mm.
And then the Lord spoke to me. He was like, there are people I've called as well. You're not the only one I've called. There are people I have called as well who are there and they're doing it for my glory. Look for people like that. Look for those references, because there's a saying that your point of references determines your faith and how far you go. And just like, so I was like, okay, that's Lord, big. I will start looking for different references, to start to find different people. Like one of them, the founder of Lagos Fashion Week, Nifemi Ashani, she's one of the people that I look up to in the industry, because she's a fashion entrepreneur, but she's also deeply faith-based.
Yeah. Deeply
faith-based. And for her to be at that level, running things, and being of faith, we thank God. We thank God for people like that. So I started to find other people here, these people there, and I was like, okay. So, I will be using them as point of references, kind of learn about them and stuff like that. And stuff like that. And I was like, okay, Lord, I see you have children here. Yeah. Your children is in the industry. Okay, so that really, got me like, okay, I think I can do this, but I'll definitely need your help, because I know my weaknesses. Yeah. Right. And I remember Pastor even mentioned, it was like one time doing was it either basic leadership or advanced leadership. He talked about, write down the things that if you were the devil, what would you do to bring yourself down? Yeah. Right. So at the time I was kind of like thinking about those kind of things, right? Writing down like the things that were my weaknesses, but it wasn't until I got a CCG where I was able to now put the things I was understanding, the Lord that was revealing to me, in order into like a system better, like really, because before it was just like here and it was just like everywhere. But then once I started going to CCG, it was just okay, there's a system around this, like there's strategy, there's order, all this kind of stuff, like there's ways to manage this, right? So once I got that started happening, right? That's amazing. So for me, I would say my why is, I always in this statement, Lord, you have called people. You have called people into the industry. There's a way. You have called people in the industry. Some of them will answer the call, and walk in destiny and fulfill your kingdom agenda. Some of them are called, but they won't do what you have called them to do. They may be crippled by fear, or they decide to fall into the world, whatever it may be, right? And some of them, they're called to be there. They may not know Christ. They're called to be there. They're doing it, all this kind of thing, all this kind of stuff. But it's not in the light of God, right? So how I've seen it is that, Lord, even if I want to be a vessel. That's my why. I want to be used by God to do great things for His kingdom, in a way that, like, in my lifetime, I must see God's move through me. I must see it. I must be able to do what He has called me to do in life, and do it to the best of my ability. That is my why, is to just be that vessel in the area that God has called me. Be the vessel in my industry. Be the vessel in my ministry. And my ministry is my industry. I've been able to now connect both together. It's like fashion is my ministry. Right? So it's like, you have called me here, and I want to be a dedicated vessel. I want to move in the way you want me to move. I want to be a pioneer in my industry for your kingdom, to fulfill, to do things that, many people will think like, how are you able to do this thing?
things that were
because I know I always tell them it's by the grace of God. It's God. It's not me. Because in the day, like, you know, people are gifted, right? We're all gifted. We all have skills and whatnot. But you know, when God is moving through you, you may not be the best at what at the thing that you're doing, but guarantee that the Lord will make you shine.
Yeah, the impact will be great.
The impact will be great because He knows, He sees your heart, He sees your motive, that you are there for Him. You're there to bring Him into it.
Yes.
And it also starts with like the desire too. For me, I have that desire. And because of that desire, I'm working with God.
Yeah.
To do what needs to be done. Yeah. Right? So yeah, that's my why, is to be that vessel.
That's amazing.
Because if nobody else wants to do it, Lord, I'll do it. Yeah. I want to do it.
Yeah. So, and if you won't do it, He'll find someone else to do it.
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. If He doesn't do it, if I don't do it, He'll find somebody else. So that also is also a way for me to also keep me on my toes.
Yes, to be diligent. Like, knowing that God can
just
not necessarily relying on. It's a privilege. It's our greatest privilege.
It's really a privilege to just wake up every day and be like, okay, Lord, You're giving me breath. You're giving me wisdom. You're giving me understanding. You're giving me these skills to now go out and make impact into the world. Build a community, make a difference, share your message with people, right? So it's really a privilege. Privilege is the key, like the key word. Waking up knowing that you're here, your existence is a privilege.
Yeah, and I think what I want to end off on, what you said was just so sweet. But I really want to just end off on helping people define success, because as you said, like having a why, and that's such a great why. Yeah. And a lot of people start off with a great why and great passion and great vision, but their definition of success can be skewed, and so that ends up affecting their confidence, affecting how far they can see themselves going, affecting even their why in and of itself, because if they're not so sure of what they're meant to be achieving, they start to change, and maybe make adjustments. So I kind of want you to speak towards what helps you define success, or what targets or what achievements will you make and know that, okay, yes, I've done what I've been called to do. I've done what I said I'm going to do.
Thank you for that question. And because it wasn't until last year summer where I was really challenged by the Holy Spirit to actually try to understand that for myself, like what success is to me, what my motivation is to do what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, right? And that's when this was last summer in church. I think we were talking about like spiritual giftings, and we also were talking along the line of like excellence and whatnot. So during that time, like I would be going to the library and be taking voice notes, and when something would hit, and I'm like, okay, this is what excellence means to me, right? Yeah. So for me, I would say success is me being able to do what I'm doing with excellence. And what excellence is to me is knowing that I've put in the hard work. I've put in the work. Okay. I was diligent. I stayed persistent in what I needed to do, and the hard work paid off. Okay. Right? Yeah. So like recently, I went to Denmark, Copenhagen, for the Global Fashion Summit. Yeah. And this was something that I had desired for since like February, when I saw the opportunity. Right? And during that time, February, March, I was really like I moved in faith. I was like, okay, this is happening. I applied for the opportunity, and I immediately started looking for grants. Like, okay, I need the money to travel Copenhagen. It's not a cheap country. Yeah. So I started looking, and I was met with like rejections. No, this and that.
But you kept going.
I kept going. I was like, I believe the Lord wants me to be there. Yeah. I believe the Lord wants me to be there. And that's how one of my mentors connected me with a funding group called MyTax. And if you're students and you have a business, and your business is associated with a research project, definitely check out MyTax Entrepreneur International. that's also a very good program for businesses out here. So yeah, just to put that out there. But yeah, so I applied for the grant and I got it. I was like, okay, thank you God for this opportunity. But even through the application process, it wasn't easy.
Yeah,
I was met with challenges with it, but I was like, Lord, I know you want me to go. And because I stayed persistent, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put in my best in this, right? And I know what I want to do there. What you want me to do there, Lord, is you want me to be able to grow in knowledge, because now June had come. I already graduated from school, and my and I desired at that time to just like learn more about my industry and be exposed more, because like I've been admitting like we have fashion lovers, but it's not the fashion. It's not where things are happening.
It's not like
fashion,
it's
right?
not in Copenhagen
So
yet.
I was like, I don't want to be moving in ignorance. I really want to know what the hot topics are. You know, what problems are people solving in this industry? So going there, like I knew that I'll be exposed to a lot of knowledge, be able to network with a lot of people, and maybe hopefully like find an opportunity, get clients or whatever, partnerships. So yeah, it happened. And I was so grateful to the Lord for helping me, because like we were literally working hand in hand. It was through prayer. We pray. I'm like, Lord,
you're really tarrying in the spirit.
Help me, like, cause the other thing was like also like, just because I was up, it wasn't just like I needed the grant, but also I needed the vision. Like I need to understand like, what am I going there to do? Yeah. Right. So it's like, success to me is definitely walking in diligence, walking in my purpose, doing everything that I'm doing in excellence. So it's like I'm doing a project, I have a studio project, I'm making sure, okay,
you're putting your best
I'm putting my best into it, you know, I'm being professional and making sure that, okay, there may be things that happen along the way, but I'm being adaptable.
You're staying the course.
I'm staying the course.
And I love that. I love that because it's not about the results. Because the results, if you rely on the results, you could give up, you know, as things change, and things will change. Yeah. But as you're remaining consistent on making sure that you're putting in on what you can control and what you can do.
And another thing as well is also knowing that, okay, each success that I've attained is also getting me closer to the vision. Yeah. Right? Because I remember Pastor Emmanuel Edewesi actually recently mentioned, because I'm part of School of Ministry, and he mentioned something that like, if your vision is not adapting, then you're being stagnant. And I was like,
if it's not changing, it's not growing.
Yeah. Like if it's just still that vision that you had like in 2019, like
your vision is at the goalpost there. Yeah, the goalpost should be moving.
It needs to be moving, right? So it's just like, you know, that's another thing for me. So okay, once I've now done it, right? I'm learning. Yeah. I'm learning from the mistakes. I'm learning from the great results as well, and I now know, okay. So for the next time, I need to iterate everything, learn, adapt, you know, reposition myself, so that we know that the vision has now expanded. You are now seeing it more clearly. You're getting closer to it. Okay, let's keep pushing. Let's keep going. Let's keep striving. Yeah. So.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nifemi.
Yeah.
So we'll round up there, but honestly, this was like a very fruitful conversation. I learned so much, and just, you know, it's very important for many people to just, if you take anything from this, sit with your vision. You know, let it be refined by the Holy Spirit. Sit with it. Sit with your why. You know, many people have their what and their how, but they don't have their why.